What's going on, everybody? Thought you guys might get a kick out of that. If you guys remember my 40th birthday live stream that we did when I turned 40 a couple years ago, I put that together using. Do you guys remember when Reface was all the rage a couple years ago? Reface had just came out, the refacing technology, and that application was kicking butt, right? Everyone was super excited about it. Hold on, I gotta check something. I just got an important message here. Ah, boo, Jason, you stink. All right. Well, don't worry about it. We're still gonna have fun tonight. Okay, so guys, we're gonna do an impromptu loft report. There's a few topics I wanted to talk about tonight. Some interesting things happening this week in the world of home arcades and gaming. And my question is, why all the secrecy? What's really happening underneath the surface? You guys know me, I'm a skeptical kind of guy, and I have a feeling that there's a lot more going on than what people are telling us. Maybe we can figure it out together tonight. As well as I wanted to talk about latest projects, mods, where I'm at with some content for the channel. As well as I wanted to do a little bit. Hope you guys like RPGs. I wanted to talk about RPG video games and three of them that I've been playing lately on console, and that I've been having a good time checking these games out. I want to provide you some feedback on them, as well as a warning when it comes to one of them, because something happened today that just woo. It blew my mind playing one of these games. I couldn't believe it was possible. But either way, guys, it's the Loft Report. Hope you're ready. All right, guys, if you're here in the live chat, sound off. Let me know you're here, and maybe I'll give you a shout out here. I don't like to take too much time with these. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's see who's here. We got C North is here. That's right. Vader's here. Michael B. the Game Genie. Hobby Hands. Jason's here. I was trying to get Jason to come on the show, but Jason says he doesn't feel good, guys. So you're going to have to blame him for his lack of appearance. We also have Carl O. Chris Langs. Worst Jago is here as well. Devil Waldo. Michael B. the Game Genie again. Cappy McCappy. Bobby's Arcade World with one of the biggest Arcade1Up collections you've ever seen. Make sure you check him out on YouTube. Charlie Chuck is here. Adam Kolb is here. He says, All hail King Dubs. Holy crap. Is that another nickname that the community's given me? They've given me so many. It's adorable. Let's see here. Dubs with the spear. Stevie B. Galaga Guy. Adam Kolb. Quentin is here as well. Let's see here. Multicade Matt is here. Dekongs, Matt Asterisk Gaming. Will is here. Mr. Closes. Mr. Closes. Michael B says he got a shout out from PDubs. It's no sticker, but he can die happy. There you guys go. All right. So, how many of you guys are AtGames fans? Let me know in the live chat how many of you guys own AtGames products. You're a fan of their products, and or just using their products because they're supposed to be an open and connected platform with you giving you the ability to play thousands of games in many different ways. They have their own system supported way. Like, I mean, they have CoinOpsX, but you're responsible for the ROMs that you use. And then they also have the ability for you to connect many devices. Over the last nearly 4 years that I've been on YouTube, I myself have made tons of videos of all kinds of devices that you can connect to your AtGames products to play more games, whether it was a simple USB flash drive, CoinOps, or if you're using Amazon Fire Sticks, Google Play devices, if you're using Super Console X sticks, like pretty much any of these Kid Hank consoles you can get off Amazon. Mini consoles, a lot of the mini consoles work on your platform. As well as what else? What else, man? PCs, mini PCs. There's so many things that you can connect to the AtGames Legends Arcade family products. You can play so many games so many different ways, which is what really made that platform special. But if there's one thing that AtGames is notorious for, is doing updates or providing information to the community, but keeping that information so bare bones, like so like close to their chest. Like they can't just tell you the roadmap or the plan or where things are going. They push out a firmware update saying, "Hey, we got a new thing, firmware 5.70, and we've added a general loader. Stay tuned for more info." And nobody on Earth knows what this is except for maybe Wagner's Tech Talk. Maybe he's the only content creator that knows what that is. However, nobody else knows what it is. They won't answer any questions. They won't tell anyone what's going on. It's very, very confusing. They put this firmware update out. A lot of people went in their Facebook communities and things like that. And they're like, hey, AtGames, what the heck does all this mean? Nothing but crickets. Nothing but crickets. No one knows what it means. But does that mean it's a bad thing or does that mean it's a good thing? Well, with that games, you always have to put together the pieces of the puzzle, right? The pieces of the puzzle. So, is it something that we should be worried about or not? Well, let's take a peek. So, then this happened earlier this week or last week. I'm sorry, guys, right before the holiday weekend, where they pushed out this firmware 5.71. Now, keep in mind, not really pushed out, they just made available. So, I apologize if I misspoke there. They made this firmware available, but it's available by request. This firmware is not being pushed to anyone's machines. Nobody's being forced to take this firmware. Nobody's being forced to use this firmware. But it's very interesting that this firmware does one thing and one thing only. CoinOps X has been delisted from App Store X and is no longer available as a startup application. So, one thing that you notice is one thing that most companies, especially video game companies, don't do is remove features and functionality. So, why would they even put this on here? Why would they even make this an option? It says in order to get this firmware, you actually have to reach out to AtGames. You actually have to email their customer service and say, hey, I don't use CoinOpsX. You can go ahead and take it off my machine. And they'll send you the firmware 5.71 update. But then again, the last time I looked, and this is where my confusion comes in, the last time I looked, if a product or a device, especially something technology related, has a feature or function that I don't use, you know what happens? I typically don't use it. And I just skip over it or I pretend it's not there or like I don't go to my mobile apps and take away certain features that I don't use on my mobile applications because I don't use them. It's better to have the option than to never have the option. So what if I maybe don't use it today, but it's something I want to use in the future? You want to have access to it, right? And this firmware doesn't do that. It just says, hey, if you want to get rid of something, let us know. I mean, it sounds to me a little bit like a fishing expedition. It sounds to me a little bit like, hey, will we get a lot of people reach out to us? Do we have a lot of owners who don't use CoinOps X or App Store X, bringing your own games via flash drive? That's what it kind of sounds like to me, right? And so I'm looking at this and I'm trying to put two and two together. And then I remembered what happened on the 5.7 firmware with the general loader. And I'm like, okay, so here's what's going on, at least in my opinion, my point of view. And unfortunately, at games, we asked them, like, what does this mean? Crickets, no responses from at games. So it makes it kind of hard to communicate to people who purchase their products and have their products. And my audience makes it difficult to talk to you guys and say, hey, this is what's going on. But wouldn't you know it, I've had a lot of people reach out to me saying, what is going on? Are they getting rid of CoinOps X? Are they getting rid of us, the ability for us to have flash drives, USBs, and bring in our own games? Well, from everything I could tell is it sounds like you're still going to have those features and functionality. There's really no reason to panic. There is a reason, in my opinion, to be a little bit annoyed because I think AtGames could do a little bit better when it comes to communicating the purposes of these things, such as, hey, we're adding a general loader. Stay tuned for more details. Hey, we're giving you the option of getting rid of CoinOps X. No other details are given. When is it just me, guys, or like if you're not going to use CoinOps X, wouldn't you still want it on your system? Like, why would you have them uninstall it from your system? Like, think about it. How often, when you're navigating the AtGames user interface to play your games, how often does that CoinOps X tile get in your way when you're playing your games under that particular settings menu? I don't think that tile's ever gotten in my way where I've been like, you know what? It would be so cool if AtGames would let me delete this tile and delete this off my system. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like, I just don't understand it. But hey, what it sounds like to me and the whispers I've been hearing and stuff is that the CoinOps X stuff, it's not going away, but it's just going to be changed over to this new general loader process. In fact, I finally had a chance to catch up on Wagner's Tech Talk. So John Wagner, great guy, love him. He's a good guy, but he seems to be the only content creator who AtGames is willing to share information with right now. So what's interesting is he mentioned in like one of his recent videos, as well as on his website, Wagner's Tech Talk website, where he was talking about the changes between 4K products and the legacy products, which is what we have. He was talking about how you could still play CoinOps X, but you're going to have to do it via a different way. Stay tuned for more information. So it sounds to me, guys, like it sounds to me like this general loader, however that works, is going to be what's going to be used to bring your own games. So if you guys want to ask me, because I've had a lot of people ask me, I got I got comments. I put out a video about a pachinko machine the other day because that's what I was interested in talking about, and I got comments on that video where people are like, "Hey, PDubs, what's going on with that games?" on a video that had nothing to do with that games. So that shows me that my viewers are concerned. I told them I'd look into it. This is about as much information as I can get for you guys. Is that it? I don't think there's any reason to panic. I think AtGames 100% can do a better job at communicating their updates as well as their roadmap and what they're planning to do with the community versus here's a morsel, stand by. Here's a morsel, stand by. Because then what happens? Then everyone panics, right? I noticed when the notes on this came out, people started attacking AtGames on their social media platforms and things. Were like, "How dare you remove this stuff? I bought it. I bought it because of this stuff. I bought your products for the ability to do this, and you're taking it away. And you guys are terrible," and all kinds of other curse words and things like that. And I'm sure AtGames was sitting there like, "We're not doing anything bad. You just don't know what's really going on." Well, maybe tell people what's going on. Um, I call it? Maybe have what is that? Maybe tell people a little bit more about what's going on, a little bit more clarity to avoid that kind of fiasco, right? Because if there's one thing you guys remember, do you guys remember we haven't gone through this in a long time? It actually made me giggle, and you guys are going to find this funny. It made me giggle because do you guys remember every time AtGames would release a firmware update a couple years ago? We'd get a firmware update every week, every week, every week, every week. Then it was like every other week. Then it was monthly, and as they could slow down, right? As they slowed down. So, what happened after every firmware update? People panicked. People got upset. People got worried, and things like that. Some machines broke. Some machines didn't. It's been an interesting road with AtGames over the last 4 years of covering that product. That's for sure. So we haven't had a firmware update. Like I think the last one they did, maybe was it January, February? And I think they promised one. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look. Do we have it on the do we have it on the page? Here, let's pull this up for you guys. So let's take a look. So these are just when the game packs got released. But the actual firmware LPO program update, this is all just miscellaneous stuff like, hey, we added this. So we got a firmware update October of 2022. So that was October, but I swear there was an actual firmware 5.7. Yeah, look at that. Firmware 5.68 was October of 2022. And then they had a 5.69, which was for the Pinball Micro. But take a look. They haven't had a firmware update since October, guys. So almost a year, 10 months. 10 months since they've had a firmware update, and 10 months since we've gone through this. And sure enough, now we're going through it, right? Now we're going through the stress where everyone's upset, everyone's worried, or some people's machines work great, some people's machines don't. I can tell you I had an issue with that machine there, the 1.1, on getting it updated because I had Legends Unchained, which some of you might be familiar with what that is, some of you might not. But it's another thing that it's another community driven project. Let's just put it that way, that I had installed on that machine months ago, months ago, when I was testing Legends Unchained to see if it was a good solution for me as a gamer and as well as to present to my viewers. And what you call it? One thing about that Legends Unchained is it blocks firmware updates from AtGames. You can still do firmware updates. It's just you have to hold down a button while the machine is resetting. But if you have Legends Unchained on your machine, like I did, when I was trying to update my machine, it wouldn't accept the update. Like it would download the update, but then the machine wouldn't actually update. And luckily, my buddy Rascal from Rascal's Basement Arcade, make sure you guys check him out on YouTube. He messaged me. He's like, "Hey, man, just as a reminder, do you have Legends Unchained on that machine?" I was like, "Yes, I do." And he reminded me that it blocks the firmware update. Blocks the firmware update. There you go. Hey, my buddy Tech Buzz is here. What's going on, Tech Buzz? I think Legend Center should come back to further keep you guys in the dark. Yeah, we did that. Geez, that was like 3 years ago. Can you believe how long it's been, Steven, since we did that? That was fun. That was fun. And we became heat magnets in the community the same way that because it was just a job, you know what I mean? It was just a job, but we became heat magnets in the community the same way Console Kits and Ralph got crap for doing the One Up Weekly, and the same way that like Michael B and B Kong and some of these guys are getting some heat now for doing stuff with Arcade1Up. So Tech Buzz and I have been there. We've been there. We've done that, and we pushed through it. We got contracted to do a job. We did our job. We got our payment, and we moved on. And that was the end of it. So there you go. Oh, I'm glad you like that Lord of the Rings pachinko machine. Yeah, not very many people watch the video, which I expected, because it's a very niche product. And I was like, if this video gets 1,000 views, I'll do a somersault. And it's only at like 600 views. So do me a favor, guys. If you want me to do a somersault, I'll post it as a YouTube short. Go watch that video about the Lord of the Rings pachinko machine. Let's get it over 1,000. Let's get it over 1,000 views. Yeah. All right. So my update for you guys regarding AtGames is I wouldn't hit the panic button yet. I know I'm not hitting the panic button. I do have one eyebrow raised because unfortunately they won't even share the information with me directly as to like this is what's happening. This is our game plan. This is the roadmap. This is where we're trying to take this to the next level. But from what I've looked into and you put the pieces together, it sounds like yes, you're still going to have your CoinOps X games. You're just going to load them differently on the system. Which, if anyone thinks that's going to be a big deal, as you guys know, that's why a lot of us do this stuff on YouTube. I'm sure we'll make videos and help you guys along the way as we learn how to do the process, all that kinds of stuff. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, CoinOps is still there. It's not going anywhere. It's still on all my machines. There we go. All right, so let's get rid of that. So I wanted to talk about new wave toys. So this is very, very interesting. And this is another reason why I titled this stream, Why the Secrecy? So apparently Shiloh, who runs New Wave Toys, let's just call him the head honcho over there, the big cheese, the big man. Hold on, guys. I got to take a drink. He did an interview on another YouTuber's channel where he was talking about the possibility of, he was on that show just talk about New Wave Toys and their 1/6 scale arcade cabinets. They talked a little bit about the Cleveland Gaming Classic and all that stuff. And he was mostly talking about like the history of the company and all that. It's a pretty great interview. I'm going to put the guy's name and all that stuff on here. Um, and what's interesting is they never brought it up during the stream until one guy in the live chat brought it up, and he said, "Hey," in the live chat, he goes, "Hey Shiloh, can you tell us when you're going to announce your 3/4 scale arcade?" And that's when the host of this channel, which I'm going to pull up here for you guys in a minute, he mentioned it to Shiloh, and Shiloh apparently denied the 3/4 scale was coming, or anything like that was coming, apparently. And then I saw my buddy Michael B. God, I love you, Michael B. I love you, Michael B. Michael B made a video today telling everyone the rumor's over. It's not happening. Put a fork in it, throw it in the trash. New Wave Toys isn't making any other machines besides 1/6 scale. And I love you, Mike. I really love you, Mike, but I'm going to hold on to hope. I'm still holding on to hope because I'm going to play something from that interview. And let's see how many people I can convince to keep the faith alive, because I'm not ready to kill the dream of having more than one home arcade company that provides, well, how do you want to put it? Provides us cost-effective solutions for home arcades that are not original arcade machines, right? So let's do this, guys. Let's do this. So I'm going to pull this up. And first thing I want to know is if you guys can hear the audio. So I'm going to play a few seconds here. And do me a favor, guys. Let me know in the live chat if you can hear the audio, because I'd hate to play it and then have to rewind it. So I got it way ahead in advance here. Yeah. All right. Let me know, guys, in the live chat if you can hear the audio. I'm waiting for the comments to come in. There's usually a delay before I see them, so don't worry, guys. Because trust me, I think I found a smoking. You can't hear it? All right, cool. Let's do this then. Let's stop sharing. Let's see if we can get this right again. Share system audio. Share.
That I want to have all these arcades in my house.
What about now?
And then you start
Can you
hearing
hear the
about
audio?
more and more people now that I'm older. It's like, yeah, I had an Asteroids Deluxe.
Can you hear Shiloh talking?
Did? I mean, your parents went out and spent $3,000 on a full-size cab for you?
Let me know, guys.
It's crazy.
Right in the 80s?
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money. That was a lot of money then.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right here. So it's coming up any second now. Let me make sure I got my timestamps right. Yeah, in about 15 seconds, he's going to share a comment from a viewer who asks Shiloh about making 3/4 scale arcades. Now, you guys watch and tell me, watch Shiloh. Watch him after the question is asked. Watch what he does.
I'm pretty sure you could buy like a shitty car for that amount back then, Ford Escort or something,
Yeah. I saw somebody mention this before. Apologies if I had missed it, but you mentioned something about like a 3/4 scale cabinet. Was that something that you had mentioned, or was that what people were just curious about?
Say that again. Sorry, there's a helicopter going over.
Like a 3/4 scale cabinet.
Oh, 3/4 scale? That's that weird Arcade1Up size. I would never do that size.
Okay, good to know. Yeah. It's a weird. Yeah, exactly.
It's too small, man. I mean,
did you see it? Did you see it? Tell me you guys saw that. Do I have to rewind it? What you guys think I saw there? You guys really got to watch Shiloh's face. You guys really got to watch Shiloh's face. Oh, you can't see his face? Well, I mean, I'll put him full screen again. All right, I'm gonna go. Okay, so watch this. The guy asks him the question. Shiloh has a hard time hearing him because there's something he's out. He loves doing these videos outside. I remember when he would be on the Tech Buzz. I'm sorry, on the Retro Buzz with Stephen Haywood, Glenn, and Cool Toy, and they would have him on. He's always liked being outside where there's all these noises, right? Okay, but stick with me, guys. This is going to be almost the smoking gun. So he's outside. He asks him, "Hey, when are you bringing 3/4 scale?" Shiloh leans forward because he's having a hard time hearing him because there's some kind of helicopter flying overhead. Then he sits back and he goes, "Oh, you mean those Arcade1Up things? Yeah, I would never make anything 3/4 scale." Watch his mouth. Watch him smirk right after he says 3/4 scale. You can see the smirk on his face, and I swear to God, I wish he wasn't wearing sunglasses. Because if he wasn't wearing sunglasses, I think we all would have been tell he was lying his ass off. But he then makes a point right after that. He then says, "I don't want to make machines that small. I'm 6'7". So in my opinion, what Shiloh, his body language, and what he told us is they're making machines, but they're going to be bigger than 3/4 scale. That is what he's confirming right here, because nowhere in this interview does he deny that they're working on it. He doesn't say we're only doing 1/6 scale. He doesn't say we're only sticking to 1/6 scale. He doesn't say anything like that. He doesn't even deny what this guy asks him. He does a full pivot. Instead of telling him, no, we're not doing that or not interested in doing that, he tells the guy, "Oh, we wouldn't make machines that small." And he's got a big smirk. Watch his lips. I'm going to play it again and watch his mouth. Watch it very, very closely. Here we go, guys.
You mentioned something about like a 3/4 scale cabinet. Was that something that you had mentioned, or was that what people were just curious about?
Say that again. Sorry, there's a helicopter going over.
Oh, like a 3/4 scale cabinet.
Oh, 3/4 scale? That's that weird Arcade1Up size. I would never do that size.
Okay, good.
Look
to
at
know.
that
Yeah,
smirk.
yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, exactly.
It's too small, man. I mean, I'm 6'7", and fuck it, man. And my back gets sore, playing something.
Right? Yeah. No.
Yeah. It just look weird to me. I don't like that scale. I don't like it at all.
I'm with you too. I would prefer 6 scale or an actual arcade.
Exactly.
But the space is just, because I've seen the other 1-ups too, and they're, it's kind of cool. And for a while I thought about that. I was like, well.
So the guy asks him, he says, "Shiloh, what are you going to do here?" He goes, 3/4 scale, those Arcade1Up things, we wouldn't make anything 3/4 scale. And then big smirk. And then he changes the subject. He goes, "I'm 6'7". I wouldn't make machines that small. Wait a minute, dude. Look at what Michael B just said. They don't make machines small, but they make 1/6 scale machines? Come on, Shiloh, you're not fooling anybody. In my opinion, and the rumor that I'm hearing is that they are making larger than 3/4 scale machines. That's what I'm hearing. That's the rumor. So we'll see if that comes true. Tech Buzz is also hearing the same thing. 70-inch plus arcade machines, arcade replicas. So we're going to have to stay tuned. A lot of you guys are calling me crazy in the live chat, but that's fine. That's fine. You don't see it? You don't see it? You think I'm reaching? Well, that's fine. Because when I'm proven right and you're proven wrong, it'll be great for me. But if I'm wrong and you're right, I don't care. It's fun to speculate and talk about. Am I right? Yes, the bad guy Mike Worley. We're looking at 13/16 scale replicas or 15/16. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. All right, you may have had a hard time seeing it on this stream, but let's go back because I almost forgot to give this guy
almost okay, maybe.
The channel
but
you
then
want to go
the
to
space
is called
factor.
Let me put this on the screen again. It's
Like,
called
yeah,
Six
I can
mean,
put on these
Scale
arcades.
Mafia. He's got
I
about 5,000 subscribers, so it means he does have
have
an
some
audience.
cabs I would love to own.
And you
have
guys
my own
definitely want to
home
check this
arcade.
out. Oop, let me pause
They're
this.
ones that just mean
I'm sorry. His channel is called Six Scale Mafia, and he's got about 5,380 subscribers. So he does have a little bit of a following. That means he probably makes some pretty decent content. So check him out, give him a sub, go watch that video, and go to 1 hour. I'll even put the timestamp in here 1 hour, 14 minutes, and start at about 3 seconds and then watch the next minute. 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 3 seconds. So, in my opinion, the dream is still alive. There will be more home arcades. Yes. Yes. Um, yeah, David Wood says, I think they'll go bigger. Shiloh's 6'7". I don't think he would make a 3-foot tall arcade machine, which is what an Arcade1Up is without a riser, right? Why would they ever want to be in this space? It's all about money, man. If they feel they can make money, they're gonna make money. They would be interesting if they would do a Kickstarter. That is absolutely true. Will it be a Kickstarter or will it be something they just release in limited quantities? Keep in mind, they might only say, hey, we're only going to make 1,000 of these or something of that nature. And dip our toe in and see if it works, you know? You think the dream died today. All right. I'm telling you, man, I watched this interview and the vibe I got from Shiloh was that he was yanking our chains, man. I think go watch the video on your phone, pay attention to his mouth. When the guy says, are you making these kind of arcade machines? And he's like, no, we would never do that. And a big smirk comes across his lips. You go watch that smirk. I wish he wasn't wearing sunglasses. Maybe we would have known the truth. So I'm not going to, Michael V, I love you, Mike, but you're not going to kill my dream today, Mike. I think it's still going to happen. All right. You know what? Let's do a live poll in the chat right now, guys. But we're not going to do a poll. We're going to do a number poll. If you think the dream is dead, hit 0. If you think the dream is alive and it's still going to happen and they're still going to make some kind of arcade machine, whether it's 3/4 scale or nearly full scale replicas, give us a 1 in the live chat. Let us know and all that kinds of stuff. And also, Glenn's retro show's been making the rounds, and he's pretty much been almost confirming this. And Glenn has a super close relationship with New Wave Toys. And also, here's the other thing. Why the secrecy? If they have, like, let's just say a contract with, like, whatever the publisher is, like, hey, guys, on X day, such as the Cleveland Gaming Classic, is the day we announce our partnership and our product and our game. Do you think 2 weeks before that, he would answer this question honestly? He would. It's the same thing all these arcade companies have done to us. iArcade, AtGames, Arcade1Up. We can't tell you yet. Deny, deny, deny. Denial is a river in China. Isn't that what they say? I like Chris Zeke. 0.5. There you guys go. But either way, you know what? If we're wrong, we're wrong. And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I just personally would really like this to happen. I think we need more competition in this space because, like I've said 100 times in the last 10, 20 streams, more competition leads to more innovation and better products. And we, as the consumers, win as the companies duke it out for your hard earned dollar. So that's why I want this to happen. It's not that I hate one company or prefer one company over another. It's the fact that I want great products. I want to cover great products. I want to buy great products. I want you guys to have great products. And competition will lead to that. So there you go. There you go. Let's see here. Well, I did a YouTube short, and so like I did a YouTube short, geez, last week or the week before, I can't remember. I said, "Hey guys, we're a few weeks away from Cleveland Gaming Expo. What would you like to see from New Wave Toys?" And in my opinion, pick one of the games that they already have licenses for that Arcade1Up hasn't released yet themselves, such as they could do a really cool missile command cabinet, which you'd be like, "Oh my god, Atari! We've already seen all the Atari games from Arcade1Up." True, but Arcade1Up hasn't done a missile command cabinet, or do Qbert, or do Space Ace instead of Dragon's Lair. Let's be honest, the Arcade1Up Dragon's Lair, from an appearance point of view, looks pretty good. Emulation issues. And then I listed off like all the games that they like. Food Fight. A Food Fight cabinet would be absolutely beautiful. I mean, that thing is beautiful in real life. You know what I mean? So yeah, Food Fight or Qbert first would be the dream, but who knows? It could be Berserk, it could be Missile Command, it could be Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblin. Yes, Arcade1Up has put the games on an arcade like the Final Fight cabinet, but they haven't made a dedicated version of that arcade yet, right? So you want to, in my opinion, you want to do something that hasn't already been done, but is also going to attract some interest. Because let's be honest, guys, we if they do like a Street Fighter or a Mortal Kombat, even if it's a damn near perfect replica with really good emulation, and it's as good as it's going to get from a commercial grade company, how excited would you be? Tell me honestly in the live chat. Would you be like, "Oh my god, they made Mortal Kombat. Oh my god, they made Street Fighter"? Honestly, I wouldn't be excited at all. I wouldn't be, because I've seen it a million times already. So I would rather them do something like Food Fight or Qbert or Missile Command or Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. That's what I want them to see. There you go. Maybe they're doing MK4. That would be great. Free MK4 needs to happen. Tempest, there you go. Smash TV, there you go. Also, so I got some good news. How many of you people are on the West Coast? Let me know in the live chat if you're on the West Coast. Like from, let's just say from Arizona, Colorado over. How many of you guys are on the West Coast? Let me know in the live chat. I happen to be in Arizona, so I am on the western side of the United States. Let's see if we can find this thing. Did they put it on their website yet? Did they put the Pac-Man XL on their website yet, guys? Or is it just on the mobile app? Oh, nope, it's on the website. Here we go. No, I'm on the right side. Rub it in, bro. Rub it in. All right. So Pac-Man XL, just a heads up here. So I've been very curious about this because I got to be honest with you guys. I really want to see one of these in person. I really want to see one of these in person because this might be the definitive version. Like, it ain't going to get any better from Arcade1Up than this, right? Like, all these years, all these versions of Pac-Man have finally led to this thing. So, like, I really want to see one in person. And I noticed that a lot of the Costco's out east who already have received theirs and put them on the floor, some of the stores have actually built a unit and had it sitting there like a floor unit. So I'm hoping the Costco's out here get it. So just a heads up, if you're on the West Coast, I reached out to a couple of my Costco's again, actually earlier this morning, gave them the SKU number, said, "What's going on?" Everyone out east has it. They confirmed that the West Coast distributor warehouse does have these in their possession, and they're going to be starting to ship these out to the stores in like Arizona, New Mexico, California, all that stuff by the end of this week. So it might even show up by the end of this week, if not definitely next week in your local Costco. So if you're waiting to get a Pac-Man XL and you're on the West Coast like me, well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So they're making their rounds. Apparently they made over 10,000 of these, 10,000 of these, stuff like that. Bushin Ryu Cat. Can I ask this, please? Is the AtGames Legends Pro tabletop compatible with either PS4 or Steam Deck? Rock on, dude. So if you're talking about using it as a controller for your PS4 or Steam Deck, I've never seen anyone use it as a controller for their PS4, but you can use your AtGames Legends Gamer Pro as a controller for your Steam account. But, I'm thinking here, would you have to then Steam to OS? Oh, wait, yeah. Worst case scenario, you can Bluetooth connect it. So let's say you have your Steam Deck in a docking station, and then that docking station is connected to your television. So you wanna play on your big TV or big monitor. You could do a Bluetooth connection with your Steam Deck and use the AtGames Legends Gamer Pro as a controller. Now, whether or not both player 1 and player 2 work, I don't know. I've actually never tested it, but in theory, that is technically how it should work. Geez, I haven't touched my Legends Gamer Pro in eons. I need to pull that thing out. I need to pull that thing out. All right, there you go. So how many of you are interested in this Pac-Man XL? I just want to see one in person because these things are supposed to be bigger, taller, wider. My buddy Jason, who I invited to come on the show, he's the moderator on the channel here. Jason actually has a Pac-Man XL. I was trying to get him to come on so we could kind of show it off. Unfortunately, he's not feeling good. He sent some pictures out on Discord and stuff. And did you guys see me share some of those pictures? Like on Facebook and stuff? Let me see if I can grab it here for you. It's actually pretty. The size difference is insane in my opinion. So I'm going in the wrong thing. Yep, Jason got one last Thursday. Awesome job, man. He picked one up. Let me see. Let me see. I know I shared a picture of it somewhere. Yeah, let's open the image in the new tab here. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I'm gonna put it on the screen. Oh, take a look at this difference. Like, how many of you think it's too big? Let me know in the live chat. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. So here's your 3/4. Now let's keep in mind Star Wars isn't a bad size arcade. Tempest is a very short Arcade1Up. Outrun is a little bit taller because they had to make it taller for the racing. Dragon's Lair is super short. Mortal Kombat 2, that's actually the deluxe Mortal Kombat 2. And then look up here, you got this one here. But you notice it's not just taller, it's wider. So, I noticed I've been keeping an eye on this product, and I've noticed some people saying XLs are too big, we don't want XLs. In my opinion, this is what it should have been to begin with. Like, this is how they should have started all those years ago. Now, do I think they're going to drop the regular size units, like these smaller ones, like deluxe size, and just make XL moving forward? I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to make XLs when they can. And I still think this is going to kind of be the standard right here, like these deluxes, right? But I got to say, man, like, in my opinion, that it looks so much better. And yes, we've seen Pac-Man 100 times from Arcade1Up. But is it possible they did Pac-Man right, except for the, cheesy light up buttons? The light up buttons are not necessary in my opinion, but they had to add something to it. The marquee even looks better, guys. This is turned on. In some of the pictures that he took, the marquee looked it looked weird, but that's because as the camera's angled, that can happen, right? The marquee here looks pretty solidly lit, in my opinion. Now, in this picture, again, the monitor looks weird, but that's because the monitor's laying down. There's plenty of videos and photos out there on their Facebook groups and all that kinds of stuff already that show that that monitor actually looks really, really good. They did confirm it is a 19-inch BOE IPS screen, so it's not a TN monitor. So the colors look great. Just not in this particular photo, but there's plenty of videos and evidence out there that the monitor looks fantastic, just like we're used to and all that stuff. But like, I gotta say, guys, like, as much as I've dogged Arcade1Up over the years, I have to say this is a damn good looking machine, in my opinion, this Pac-Man. Like, I think it's pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is light up buttons, but that's because you guys know me. I'm not a big fan of light up buttons. I think they're cheesy, hokey, and like the only light up buttons I remember from arcades maybe were like volcano buttons or things like that. Like, I don't remember a whole lot of real machines having these Christmas tree buttons that a lot of us like putting on. I think this was ETA Prime who started this nonsense, right? Remember ETA Prime is Arcade1Up mods, and then everyone went and bought those easy starts buttons and things like that. Let's see here. Look at the ceiling. It's scooted out, looks bigger. No, it's actually not. It's actually not. He's got an angled ceiling here. And that looks pretty deep right here. It looks like it's going all the way back, just like these. Yeah, just a bigger machine. You can turn the buttons off. There you go. Yeah, I wanted to give an update on some of the projects and things I got going on before we get off the air here. We'll talk about Primal Rage here in just a minute. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get excited when it's something we've seen a million times already. But hey, at least in my opinion, from a looks point of view, I think it looks pretty damn good. Here we go. This is Jason. He's the guy who took the picture. He's got the Pack XL as far back as it can, but all of the other cabinets are pulled forward. Did you guys see that? So take a look here. This Pac-Man is all the way against the wall, and these machines he actually pulled forward a bit. Is that correct, Jason? Am I reading your comment right? Man, that thing's a monster then. Can't wait to see that. All my pinballs are downstairs. All my pinball machines are downstairs, except for my V pin, which V pins are behind me. Let's see here. And oh yeah, he did change. He put the Retro 530 coin door in already. Isn't it funny how people like the mod stuff? Because you notice it doesn't say Arcade1Up on it. So yeah, he's got that's that Retro 530 injected coin door mold that Laramie just started releasing. I need to reach out to him. I need to order some and take a look at them. So yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I mean, if people are disappointed, I'm not shitting all over it. Well, I'm sorry if you're disappointed, but I always tell you how I honestly feel, and I honestly feel this is a damn good looking machine, this Pac-Man here, and I wish this is what Arcade1Up did from the beginning. If you yourself are a fan of the smaller sizes, I totally understand and respect your feedback if you prefer the smaller cabinets, but I really like the bigger ones. I'm sorry, I think it looks cool, man. I think it looks cool. It looks less like a toy. Does that make sense? Like a lot of these Arcade1Ups look like toys. But you have something like this, which is still essentially an emulation toy, but it looks less like a toy. I don't know if anyone understands that or not. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Thanks, Jason, for sharing those photos. And so either way, I'm looking forward to checking out what these Pac-Man cabinets look like um, this week. Hopefully, they'll be in like some Costco's near me. I'm going to drive by and take a look at them and see if I like them. Hopefully, one of the stores will have one that's built. Would I be nuts if I asked the store like, "Hey, can I build one? Because I want to see how big it is." Would that be weird? If you were the manager of a Costco and some nerd comes up to you, glasses and stuff, backwards hat, hey, can I build that? And it could be your display unit. Can I build it just so I can take photos of it? That would be kind of fun. I want to see it before you make a purchasing decision. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see it. Oh, there's nothing wrong with toys, Jay. I'm saying it looks less like a toy and more like a real arcade. So let's say, for instance, you have let's say, for instance, you have friends or family come over who don't know as much about arcades as you do, right? Because you probably, just like me, have learned a ton since you got into this hobby. Like anyone who came over to my house, like Vern and Jeff, and friends from Chicago, family who visited, they see the Arcade1Ups and they know they're not like a real arcade machine. They're like, oh, that looks small. They know it looks like a toy, right? Whereas I see the potential where someone could walk into my house and see this thing and assume it's a real Pac-Man machine. And instead of saying, "What is that? Is that a toy or whatever?" They might look at it and be like, "Is that a real Pac-Man?" Like, I honestly think they might ask me that question just based upon what I've seen. But then again, I got to see one in person. So as of right now, all my opinions are take them for what they're worth, a grain of salt. Yeah. Let's see here. How much clothes would you be wearing? I would definitely be wearing shoes. I would definitely be wearing shoes. There you go. Let's see here. Went from full size cabs to 3/4 and definitely like the smaller cabs. Okay. So a couple updates on some things for those who like to follow the channel. So Primal Rage, I'm hoping. Let's see here. Primal Rage, I'm hoping I get by this weekend. I got to get a hold of David, the guy who I'm buying it from. Last weekend was Labor Day weekend, so we couldn't do the whole meetup exchange. Hoping we can get that done this weekend. That way, I'll have my Primal Rage arcade machine. I'm pretty excited about that one. It's in pretty good shape, minus some cosmetic stuff that we need to fix up. But Hubert needs friends, so we're gonna pick up that. We're gonna pick up that bad boy. Um, Also, yesterday I filmed a bunch of content for the Retro Lizard light gun build PC. So if you're into light guns and light gun games and have a send in light gun, I'm hoping I'll have that video edited and published within the next day or two. So stay tuned for that. So that should be a fun video to look at as a option for you for playing lots and lots of light guns without spending too much money. Um, what else? What else? What else? Um, I see there's conversations about feet pics right now in the live chat. I don't know what's going on there. What else? I got review products sent to me for a whole bunch of like small stuff. I got a couple handhelds. I got a touch screen. I got a tablet. The touch screen's actually pretty cool because I think I'm going to stick that on a pinball machine. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff that's been sent to me, small stuff. I got a pile here. Also, video games. I've had a lot of video games and codes sent my way, so we're gonna have a lot of video game reviews as well. So what's really nice, I get excited about this time of the year because it's not going to be like here's an Arcade1Up video, and then a day later here's an Arcade1Up video, and then a day later here's an Arcade1Up video. Like you guys have noticed, it's like I'm going to be throwing in a whole bunch of stuff. Some of the videos 500 views, some of the videos maybe 2,000, 10,000. Who knows? It all depends on if you're interested in it. But either way, guys, I'm going to be covering a whole mixture of stuff, which gets me excited personally because that's the kind of content I like to make. I don't like to just stick with one thing. I like to mix it up. So there you go. Also, because we're cutting it close on time, let me pull up. I'm going to pull up something here. We'll see. You're probably not going to get audio, but that's okay. I just want to show you guys something. I want to talk to you guys about RPG games. So, are you guys playing RPG games right now? And what game are you playing? Like, what's your game right now that you're playing? Let me know in the live chat. Keep in mind there's a lot of RPGs that got released recently, such as Diablo 4. You had Legend of Zelda, stuff like that. But I'm talking very, very recent releases for me. There's 3 games that I'm playing all at the same time. 2 of them on Game Pass, which is nice because they're free. Well, not really free because I pay for Game Pass. But still, it's not like I had to buy the games individually. Okay. So we're going to talk about them. And the whole Starfield thing you might find shocking, but that's because I got stuff in the works here. So I got to pull up something. Sea of Stars, there you go. So Sea of Stars, that little indie game just surpassed 250,000 downloads. Sea of Stars, 250,000. That's a little indie studio that projected that they would do 250,000 in a year. That's like the best that they could hope for. And they got 250,000 within the first couple of weeks. That's how good of a game that is. So don't sleep on Sea of Stars. We're going to talk about Sea of Stars here in a minute. I got to load my game here, so my apologies. So I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, which I'm going to put it up on my screen here for you guys. And let me tell you something. This game wait, can I not share that? Present extra camera. Here we go. See if this works. Okay. Oops. Yep, that's how I do it. Okay, present extra camera. So Baldur's Gate 3 is my favorite right now. I am loving the holy hell out of this game. It's been out on PC for a bit, but I picked it up on PlayStation. I kind of wish I got it on PC now. That way I could play it on my Steam Deck. When I'm like laying down in bed or on the couch or something. So hold on. All right. So this game is absolutely incredible. I love this game, right? And here's the guy I created. I created a dwarf. Now, does he kind of look like me? You guys let me know in the live chat. This is my dwarf. Let's see if we can pull up our character sheet here. So this is the guy I created. I decided to play as a dwarf. You know, there's all kinds of classes and sub races and stuff you could play as. But I was like, you know what? I've always played these RPG games. I've never played as a dwarf. So I created this guy and I just named him Braun. So this is him. This is him. But you notice I gave him my graying hair, my receding hairline, and I gave him the goatee and all that stuff. There you go. So there you go. That's PDubs. If he was a dwarf, I made sure he was old and fat too. So like everyone else is young, and I look like an old man, right? Now I'm a level 3 dwarf. I'm about 5 hours into this game. This game's absolutely incredible, but I wanted to warn you guys when you take a look here at my map. All right, so here's the map, right? Now, if you guys need to take, you start down here, you work your way up here, and once you get up here, now I got to go over here, and I got to these are all quests I got to get to and unlock the map. But I wanted to warn you guys. How many of you guys are familiar with the controversy that this game had? This game had a little bit of controversy um very very recently because in this game there's a lot of things you do when you create your character, like you create, male, female, non-binary genitalia. You get to pick what the male and female genitalia looks like. It's crazy, right? And the reason why is there's a lot of mature adult themes in this story and there's stuff you can do. Okay? So this just happened to me a little bit earlier today. So if you're playing this game and you're wandering and you come across this is a big barn right here. That's what this square shape is. I'm telling you right now, don't go into the barn, especially if you have children present. Do not go into the barn. If you go into the barn, you might scar the children for life. So inside of the barn, do you guys want to know what was in the barn? If you want to know what was in the barn, let me know in the live chat. Just make sure there's no little kids in the room. Yeah, there was some controversy because you can like any of the NPCs, you can get people to fall in love with you, even animals. And there was already a scandal that you could like have sexual relations with a bear, right? All right. Inside of the barn is a giant troll, a female giant troll. But imagine like trolls from Lord of the Rings. Like, you know how the trolls are like very tall, very fat female troll. She's on her hands and knees, and there's a little midget guy having sex with her inside of the barn. Inside of the barn. If you go, you knock on the door of the barn, which I did. It said the door is locked, but you hear some rustling inside. Well, whatchamacallit? So it says, what do you want to do? Do you want to open the door or not? I said, yes, I want to open the door. I opened the door, and that's what I ran into, right? And because you interrupt them, they attack you. Because you interrupt them, they attack you. And but before they attack you, you get to see what's happening. This game, although Baldur's Gate is incredible, and the storyline so far, the special effects, all the magic spells, everything you ever wanted in out of the Dungeons and Dragons universe is in this game. That's our pet spider, by the way. So he follows us around and he attacks bad guys. Um, all that stuff is in this game, and it makes it incredible. Just remember, there's a lot of mature elements in this game. A lot of mature elements. There's a lot of sex. There's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of foul language, things like that. So, prepare yourself, especially if you have kids. If they're going to watch you play, might want to skip out on this one. So I've been playing this on PlayStation 5, and I think it's a fantastic game. I'm about 5 hours into it, and I only have about 150 more hours to go. Your typical. This is one of those massive, massive games, right? Sea of Stars, I started on Xbox Game Pass, as well as I was checking out Chained Echoes. And let me see if I can. Yeah, mature. It's mature rated. So M for mature. There's a lot of stuff in the game. There's a lot of stuff. What happens in Baldur's Barn stays in Baldur's Barn. So because I've been playing Baldur's Gate, hang on, I gotta get my screen active here. So because I've been playing Baldur's Gate, I haven't started Starfield yet. I downloaded Starfield on Xbox on Game Pass and I installed it. And actually, I think I got the notification today or something saying that it was available to play. So that's pretty cool. Share screen. But I wanted to talk to you guys about Sea of Stars and Chained Echoes, if you don't mind. And then we'll get out of here for the night. Ah! I got too much going on here. That's what happens when you turn on your PlayStation in the middle of a live stream. All my windows went nuts. How many of you guys have played Sea of Stars? How many of you guys have not heard about Sea of Stars? Let me know in the live chat. So we're going to go ahead and mute that. Okay, so let's invite. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so Sea of Stars, I am about 2 hours into it. What I did is I wanted to play a lot of these games to pick which one I wanted to play through, right? When so many awesome RPGs come out at the same time, it's really hard for me to juggle back and forth, knowing that a lot of these games you're looking at 30 hours at least, right? In order to play through and get a great experience, right? Now, Sea of Stars and Chained Echoes both came out on Xbox Game Pass at the same time. And sure enough, Sea of Stars has whatchamacallit, it's gotten great reviews. And in fact, if I had to choose between the two, Sea of Stars and Chained Echoes, you should play Sea of Stars. It looks like a Super Nintendo game. It plays like a Super Nintendo game, but also with some modern twists and animations and all that stuff. If you have Game Pass, by all means, download this, play it. Just keep in mind, if you want to play this game through, it's going to take you about 30 hours, right? It's a fantastic game. Since I have it on my Xbox, which is downstairs, I can't pull it up. I'm about 3 hours into it. I think it's great. And sure enough, there's tons of YouTube content out there showing this game off. And this is a super fun game. Now, the other one is Chained Echoes, which is a lot like this game. It's another one of these 16-bit type throwback games, right? So let's pull this up. Now, I started playing Chained Echoes, and my wife really likes it. Let me pull this up. So, of course, because my wife really likes it, when I'm downstairs with her in front of the Xbox, she wants to play Chained Echoes. So I am about 8 hours into Chained Echoes. So Chained Echoes, again, has about a 25-hour storyline. I'm about 8 hours into it, so I'm about a third of the way through it. I've been sharing some funny pictures and stuff on Facebook. Minus some foul language, there's nothing to be worried about with this game. And just like Sea of Stars, It looks like a Super Nintendo game or a Sega Genesis game. It plays like them. And what I really like too about all three of these games that we just talked about, Sea of Stars, Chained Echoes, and Baldur's Gate, all three of these games have the same thing in common. And that thing is whatchamacallit, that thing is they're all turn-based RPGs. So they're all turn-based RPGs. So if you don't know what a turn-based RPG is, that's you know, your character, you have a party of like 3, 4, however many people in your party. Well, your guy goes, then your guy goes, then the next guy goes, and then the bad guy hits you, and then you start all over. It's turn-based, right? Versus a lot of modern RPGs, they got rid of turn-based combat and did more real-time combat, like your Final Fantasies and things like that. So I love turn-based RPGs. I think like Zelda, the RPG game, but that's like real-time combat. It's not turn-based, right? The Zelda games. I love turn-based RPGs. You get to take your time, think about what you're going to do, pick the right spell, pick the right defense, pick the right shield. You know what I mean? So if you love turn-based RPGs, then I definitely recommend you check out Baldur's Gate, Sea of Stars, and Chained Echoes. Chained Echoes is nowhere near as deep of a game as Sea of Stars and Baldur's Gate. It'll be the easiest one to pick up and play. You don't need to be an RPG expert to play Chained Echoes. You could literally it's a very simplified game. Sea of Stars has a little bit more when it comes to your equipment, leveling up, your quests, journals, all that kind of stuff. And then of course Baldur's Gate is like, whoo, like you better be ready because that game has everything possible that you ever wanted out of an RPG game. Does that make sense? Do you guys like turn-based RPGs or do you guys like kind of like the more hack and slash real-time RPGs? Let me know in the live chat, guys. Throw it in the live chat. I'd love to get your feedback. I love turn-based RPGs. I think they're great. It's nice to take your time. Less pressure. Less pressure. Anyone want to? No one's going to tell me? All right, here we go. If you hate them, tell me you hate them. I just want your feedback. Burger Bob loves turn-based. I love turn-based. Zero Sleep says both, no doubt. I don't know for sure which one. Zero Cool gave me a DD. Don't know what that means. Maybe Dungeons and Dragons. Gabriel Gray says he's a huge fan of JRPGs, especially the Suikoden. Oh, I can't pronounce it series. Someone's going to get mad at me because I said it wrong. Zero Cool said yes. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. There you go. All right. Well, I love turn-based RPGs. Rich Waddell likes hack and slash. So because I got all three of these games in the works, I got to pick one and finish it. I'm probably going to finish Chained Echoes because I'm the furthest in it and it's the shortest game. And then after that, going to be diving. Going to be diving into Baldur's Gate more and more and more. And what's funny is I'll play Chained Echoes like the last few nights. Play Chained Echoes, and then when the wife is tired, goes to bed because she really likes the game. I'll come in my office and then play Baldur's Gate. That's why I haven't made any YouTube videos the last couple of days. I've been playing Baldur's Gate late at night. But now that Starfield is unlocked, now I got to play that game. You know, we have these first world problems, guys. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, that's the only bad thing about RPGs is that they take forever. They take forever. Very long games, very long games. So there you go. All right. There you guys go. So that's what I had for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the broadcast. I think everyone's hitting the panic button on AtGames, but I say wait. I think this general loader thing is just going to be what we're going to use to play our bring your own games. And so I wouldn't say panic yet until we get more information. And AtGames, you need to give us more information so we understand what you're doing, and maybe your owners won't panic. You know, your owners won't panic if the information's more clear and concise and no bad assumptions can be made. Make sure you check out those RPG games. When it comes to Arcade1Up, I think the Pac-Man XL looks pretty cool. And then what else did we talk about tonight? I can't remember what else we talked about. What else did we talk about? Don't pay. Oh, New Wave Toys. I still think New Wave Toys is going to be doing either a near to full size arcade replica or 3/4 scale replica. I'm still keeping the dream alive. I saw the smirk from Shiloh, and if you think I'm nuts, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Make sure you check out that guy's channel who I shouted out earlier, who did the interview. Make sure you guys go watch it. It's actually a really good interview. All right, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up on the way out. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you guys have a fantastic and safe rest of your week. I have to check with the guys to see if we're going to do a Super Game Room Dudes. I got to see if everyone's available. So we might do Super Game Room Dudes. But in the meantime, I hope you guys are excited about the Retro Lizard Sinden Lycan video I got coming out in the next day or two. Hopefully you guys will check that out once it's published because that'll be a fun video. I guarantee it. Thank you guys. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon. There it is. Bye.